Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm County Manager Dena Diorio. We have several items to update you on this morning. Joining me today is CMPD Deputy Chief Jeff Estes, Deputy Public Health Director Dr. Raynard Washington, and Chief White Graham from Emergency Management. I'd also like to thank Anita Baker, who is providing our sign language services for us today. As everyone knows, next week is Thanksgiving, and I would like to begin by reminding everyone how crucial it is to stay safe. Public Health has issued guidelines that Dr. Washington will go over in a few minutes, but it continues to come down to doing the simple things. Wear your mask, wash your hands, distance yourself, and especially for the holidays, avoid large group gatherings. In fact, yesterday the CDC issued a warning that people should not travel over the Thanksgiving holiday. Earlier this week, the governor announced a new alert system for identifying parts of North Carolina with severe outbreaks. As of today, we remain in the yellow zone. That's certainly not good, but it is better than many counties, including some surrounding counties in our area. However, if our cases and our positivity rate continue to climb, we should expect that Mecklenburg County will be elevated to the orange zone in the next report. It is another example of why we must remain vigilant and not let our guard down. Earlier this week, we updated the Board of County Commissioners on where we are regarding the allocation of the $39 million in federal coronavirus relief money that Mecklenburg County received earlier this year. As you all know, the money must be spent by the end of 2020, and I'm pleased to report that we will achieve that goal and help as many people in the community who otherwise may not have been able to help themselves. The CARES money has provided funding for, among other things, public health response, housing assistance and shelter for the homeless, food security, senior services and nutrition, masks and protective gear, community education, workforce development, and bridging the digital divide. We've also made funding available to the 6 towns as well as the Arts and Science Council. In addition to CARES funding, I want to highlight a grant program for homeowners that is still available. The HOMES program helps those that meet certain criteria to pay their property taxes. The deadline to apply for the $250,000 in available funds has been extended to November 30th. The income threshold to qualify has also been increased. You can go online to mecnc.gov/taxes to fill out an application or call 980-314-4226. That's mecnc.gov/taxes, and the phone number is 980-314-4226. We're also quickly approaching the county's FY22 budget season. As we have done for the past 2 years, our budget team is already gathering input on what the community's budget priorities should be for this year. The FY22 budget priority survey is now available through December 23rd. You can access the survey by going to mecnc.gov, and you can fill it out online. If you fill it out online, it is available in over 100 languages. If you don't have access to technology, you can fill one out at any of our libraries, and that paper survey is available in English and in Spanish. And with that, I will turn the podium over to Deputy Chief Jeff Estes to give us a report on enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you and good morning. As has been the case throughout the COVID pandemic, the CMPD has been actively engaged in enforcing the governor's orders as it relates to the pandemic and those things that are afforded to us to enforce. This past week, as is the normal, we looked at and investigated hundreds of establishments to ensure they were complying with the regulations as related to restaurants and bars and nightclubs. We again cited a few of those outliers that we have seen who were in blatant disregard of those orders. We would highly encourage all of our businesses and our citizens to take the pandemic seriously. We understand that the pandemic fatigue is a real thing, not only for our own employees, to be frank with you, but also the citizens there. But as we've seen, the pandemic doesn't stop, and we've experienced an upswing here as of late. So over the holidays, we would ask that people would abide by the orders and do the common sense thing to keep the pandemic at bay. Thank you.
Good morning. As of this morning, there have been 39,990 confirmed cases of COVID-19 among Mecklenburg County residents. The situation here in the county, of course, is, as the county manager just mentioned, is starting to accelerate. We're certainly concerned about the increase in trends here in the county. We have seen a 23% increase in our cases over the last 2 weeks. And today we will very likely cross the 40,000 case mark. For context, it took us just about 10 weeks to get from 20,000 cases to 30,000 cases, and we've gone from 30,000 cases to what will be 40,000 today in just 6 weeks. Unfortunately, we have lost 430 Mecklenburg County residents due to this virus, and our thoughts are with their families. And all of our other key trends continue to increase as well. Our percent positivity over the last week has been around 8% on average, 8.7% on average, I'm sorry. And we're averaging around 180 COVID-19 patients in our healthcare system hospitalized each day. Our hospitals do remain stable. They have capacity in terms of beds, staffing, and ventilators, but are starting to experience elevated demand for services. There's a significant amount of testing happening in the community. Demand is actually increasing for COVID-19 testing. We're working very hard to extend additional opportunities for testing in the county, and we're testing well over 3,500 people each day. As you're likely aware, and the managers already mentioned this morning, the CDC has issued guidance discouraging Thanksgiving travel this year. We're asking everyone in our community to avoid traveling as well, and to especially avoid any gatherings this year. We understand fully that this is a big sacrifice that we all have to make ourselves, but the risk at this time is simply too great. I have to say our team is actually still contact tracing over 30 Halloween gatherings. Our team is receiving 300 to 400 reports every day of cases. So we have our work cut out for us ahead. But we can do this. We can slow the virus together. If everyone can pull together and do the things we know, that keeps the spread of the virus slow. Similarly, we're asking folks to avoid the Black Friday rush and gatherings in stores and retail locations.